At last, the modern audience has arrived to censor the first Descendant. If you know anything about the modern day video gaming industry, you know that's the first thing you see happen with any game that has any attractive, appealing characters, specifically female characters. When there's something that's too attractive for an audience of people that don't play games, they come and try to destroy it. And now that's starting to happen with the first Descendant, as its popularity continue to rise all across the world for doing things that we haven't been seeing in the video gaming industry for the past decade or so, or at least in the Western video gaming industry. And I think that's the interesting about the first Descendant. It's unashamed of bringing attractive characters to a fan base that loves seeing attractive characters in their video gaming experience. And I think ultimately that's what we're getting from the first Descendant, is pleasing the fan base by delivering what they actually want. And I think ultimately that's why it's having massive success all across the world, not just from its Korean home country, as Nexon is a Korean developer, and more so all across the world, because a lot of artists, a lot of video gamers are starving to see some sort of game that is good and still has the attractive appeal and look that is satisfying the gamers. And I think the first Descendant does most things right. Of course, people have their complaints about it, about the price gouging and maybe the low drop rates to get some items, but that is a small negligent thing when it compares to the gameplay and the overall look to the characters. And I think this is why this game is still charting almost #1 on Steam, at least after its summer update that brought about a lot of new characters and of course better designs for some of the old characters that have already been there. And I think that's the main thing people are starting to complain about, because we're just getting too much beautiful designs now, and this is starting to irk the group of people, or the majority of people within the video gaming industry, that see any designs that are attractive as gross negligence and maybe some form of racism, misogyny, or any other ism that they want to put on the plate of people that like things that are beautiful or interesting to actually play. And I think that's what's at the plate of first Descendant, where it's going to start being accused of these isms because it's doing the thing that's silently banned within the industry, and that is making attractive female characters. And I think you can obviously see with some of these designs, they're actually putting in an effort to make these characters look appealing to the gamer and player base. And I think they did an excellent job with that, with some of the summer outfits that they put out there, where we're just not even able to see this in any other Western game, because we're inundated with these political progressive activists that take shape and grab hold of the entire industry. I'm talking about the Sweet Baby Inks, Hit Detection, Gamer X. These are consultancy firms filled with activists that have flooded the industry with their own political progressive point of view that they want in gaming. And the main thing is no beautiful characters, everyone should be ugly, and everything should be equal, at least diversity wise. And I think that's fine and good and all to have equality, but if it's equality of ugliness, who wants that? Make equality of everyone is attractive, and people would actually be rooting for these consultancy firms. But that is not the case. Everything has to be brought down to reality, a reality that is just unappealing for gamers that are trying to escape reality after a hard day's work, after a hard day's study or college. Everyone is trying to take a break, and people are trying to drag you back down into what they deem as the modern political milieu that you have to be involved in. And I think that is a situation a lot of gamers are just trying to separate themselves from, and I think the first Descendant does that beautifully with these character designs that are just there to be appealing, fun to play, and actually capture attention. And of course, they're trying to make money. Nexon is known as a company that is getting money by any means necessary, but it's in prime position to do this because no other gaming studio, at least in the Western world, will ever attempt to do this. So they're in a prime position to actually take advantage of the gamers. And I think that's unfortunate for the gamers, because we're paying exorbitant amount of prices for some of these character designs. Some people paying $20 to $50 for these characters, and I think that's an absurd price. But it makes sense when there's a dearth of these characters being sold or presented in the Western games industry. And I think that is a sad part of the situation, where people can be taken advantage of now because these character designs are not coming to any other game in the near future. So you only can get it from the first Descendant, and maybe other Korean developers, of course, like Stellar Blade, has done similar things to much greater success. And I think this is the end result of a starving gamer player base that is looking for anything that is beautiful to play. And ultimately, we have the modern audience catching up to this, where they're noticing this game is out there and they're trying to destroy it now. You can see this with some of the complaints about the new update, where people are coming out and say, what is going on? This game has jumped the shark. These designs are too beautiful. We need to uglify them down. This is not representative of realistic women. We need to change this, and we need more LGBTQ representation. Everything is starting to be said now because this game is successful. And I think this is just the start, this post right here, where someone comes out and complains about the game, saying there's just too much cake everywhere. If you know the peach symbol, just too much butt out in the open being exposed, where I don't even want to play the game anymore in the public library. And that has to be the case if you're frustrated with playing this game out in the open. Are you playing this game in the public library? Maybe you should just play it at home and you'll be more comfortable. I think that's the situation that we're seeing right now. But let me read this post. It's just the beginning of the rumblings of the modern audience being frustrated with this game, and I think this is the main thing that we're seeing. The first Descendant is actually becoming a little bit mainstream, so we're gonna get the people, the normies, the basic people coming out trying to change this game now. And I think this is the initial salvo that we're seeing with some of the comments right here from a guy called Teramasu, I think from one of the Steam forums, and he comes out and says, my main complaint is about the cosmetics for the first Descendant just being too much, from unlocking base character to now sold cosmetics that is made out of 4x4 cloth. Literally, it's too much, guys. I load the game into Albion. The first thing I see is cake everywhere. I see peach bottoms. I see apple bottoms. In some cases, there may be kids nearby. What do I have to say about a game I love playing? Okay, that is an interesting fact. Maybe you have kids, you gotta have to play in private, man. And if that's the case, you have kids running around, just don't play the game in front of them. And I understand the plight that this guy has here, but this is a fraction of the modern audience that is developing right now around this game, where they're gonna come and attack this game more often now, because it is capturing the normies, the regular people that play games, the regular people that are willing to decide with the people that want to censor games. And I think this is a troubling update for people that love the first Descendant, because once the normie people come in that just maybe feel a little bit embarrassed playing this game, they're gonna side with the people that just want to censor this game, because they feel that this is a better solution than actually maybe having a little bit of privacy for yourself while you play this game. And I think this is a situation that is developing over time. Of course, it already started with the initial release of the game. Of course, all the Games Journalist magazine came out attacking this game, saying it's not that good. It has mixed reviews on Steam, even though it has a high player base count. And I think that high player base count is based on how great it is. But of course, these games are not being graded on how good the gameplay is anymore. They're being graded on how representative this game is of my modern day political outlook. And of course, this is not representative of anyone's modern day political outlook, and I think that is a good thing, and that's why the fans love this game. It is doing its own thing. It's not embarrassed that it's doing its own thing, and it's doing everything on its own terms. And I think that's what we want to see from gaming, and I think we don't get that anymore, even from the activists, the political activists like Sweet Baby Inc., like Hit Detection, and all these other games that are making Concords. They're not doing it from an authentic place. They're doing it from a fearful place, where they're not strongly and boldly doing the things they love to do. And I think that's what we saw in Baldur's Gate 3. I think that's what we saw with Hades 2, that have these kind of political activist leanings. You can feel the bold, unabashed passion from the developers about the things that they're creating, and people cannot deny it because the games were well made. And I think that's the thing you want to see from a games developer. And I think from modern day games developers, mostly, for the most part, they don't have this. The people that are making most of the games that are coming out here, they don't have that passion. I think you can see that passion for the character design in this game, even though this game is just about making money. But still, you can see the people designing the game like the designs, and I think that is the thing people are embracing about the first Descendant. But that's just my 2 cents on the situation. The modern audience is waking up, and I think that is a bad thing if you love the first Descendant, but I think it is a unnecessary thing to actually worry about, because the first Descendant and Nexon, they're only worried about money, and these costume designs that they have, they're making them a lot of money. So I don't see them changing anytime soon, and hopefully that's the case for everyone that love these designs. So you tell me what you think about the situation. I'd like to hear your comments. Like, comment, share, subscribe. This is Wagner Knows Why. Catch you next time.